Alright folks, welcome back to another Budget Gem or Budget Bust. Today I have got an amplifier that in a brand I've never before thought about testing. This is the Synergy Audio EFA 1K. These amps are rated about 1,000 watts, hence the 1K on the box there, at 1 ohm. And they can currently be had for about $169 on Synergy's website. This one actually came from a viewer at home, Edward Mulligan, who contacted me over the summer and said, hey, I got 2 of these Synergy audio amps in, and I'd like for you to kind of give them a run on the dyno and tell me just how much they produce. So he sent me this one, and he sent me the 100.4 Class D 4-channel. So over the course of the next couple weeks, we're going to test both of those out, and we're going to see what the Synergy Audio budget line does. In preparing for this video, I've talked to Synergy Audio. I've started learning more about the brand. They're more kind of what's called famous, but people in the audio community are more familiar with their Korean line of amplifiers. I believe that's called the EFA Series, which a lot of people really like. They have a subwoofer line. They do component speakers. They're really a full line brand. So of course we do a lot of budget amp testing, and we are going to find out how does their budget line, their EFA Series do. These are produced in China, and that's about all I know. So let's jump right to it. Let's unbox this bad boy, and then strap it up to the amp dyno. So let's just jump right on in. Okay, opening her up. Alright, first thing we get here is the owner's manual. And let's see if I can find the specs in here. Nothing seems to be specific to this amp. Yeah, there are no specs in this owner's manual. I mean, I think this is pretty much the equivalent of a company just throwing in a generic owner's manual and just going, here you go, figure it out. So that's not a great start with the unboxing. And next thing here, this might be the cheapest piece of poop bass knob I've ever seen in my life. Now, I will say, I did reach out to Synergy Audio, and I said, can you tell me a couple of things about the amp? I got a video coming up, and they were like, yeah, the owner's manual sucks, and the bass knob sucks. And they were dead on accurate. This is shitty. I mean, I don't know what you would do with that. That sucks. They do have the telephone cord style connection, though, so if you're looking for a positive, it's that. It's not a 3.5 millimeter plug. And that's about it. Oh, look at that. You get a sticker. You get the Synergy Audio sticker. That's better. You get a pack of 4 screws. So, great. No Allen keys, and looks like there's a reason for that. There is, these are Phillips head connectors. So, let's get this amp out of the plastic. They really did not want it to make it easy coming out of the plastic. Now, did they? Oh, there we go. So, one amplifier. Not a bad looking amplifier, I mean, if you had to ask me. Heatsink looks nice and beefy. Pretty nice there. Terminals look okay. Yeah, the sides are, we'll talk about those. And let's see how wide we are. We're about 6 1/4 inches wide, or, deep or length, whatever. And about, with the terminals, about almost exactly foot and a half, or 12 inches, 12.5 inches roughly. And we are probably just about 2 inches tall. So, pretty nice and compact. You ought to be able to fit it anywhere. If you want to check out the above average man size hands comparison, it's not far off from my palm. So, will fit anywhere. So let's just, check out the sides of the amp now. Along this side of the amplifier, we find our speaker output terminals as well as our power input terminals. One of the things here, these are rated as 4 gauge inputs. However, if I try to use this 4 gauge reducer, it does not fit in all the way, okay? So it just kind of clogs right in there and doesn't go in. So, I did find a reducer that did fit in 4 gauge, but it's not going to fit all of them. They are pretty tight in there. So, I would still say they're 4 gauge, but be careful if you're going to use a reducer because not all of them will fit in there. Of course, you're probably oversized here on the remote wire at 8 gauge, but it does fit in fully with an 8 gauge reducer. Same over here on the speaker output terminals. They are true 8 gauge. So, not bad, but could be a little bit better on the power terminal side. Along this side of the amplifier, we'll find all of our adjustments as well as our RCA inputs and our strapping RCAs, in addition to our input for our remote bass knob and power protect lights. I think along here is a pretty fine example as to why this is a budget amp and why there are some minor fit and finish things that I have issue with this amp. If you can look here along all the settings, it's kind of hard to see here on camera, but the potentiometers for these are deep inside the amp. They're not flush, okay? They're probably a good couple of millimeters inside the amp versus being flush like we'd really want them. Again, I think this is just kind of a build house QC type thing that they probably should have done a little bit better job with. But there are plenty of adjustments. Of course, you have your gain, which is typical. You have a low pass filter, which is adjustable from 40 to 180 hertz. Subsonic filter, which you can adjust from 50 hertz down to off. You have a adjustable bass boost frequency, and of course bass boost as well from 0 to 12 dBs. But as you know, and as I've said numerous times, leave bass boost off. Alright, checking out the guts. And inside, it looks like we found a company. They got a little too crazy with the cheese whiz here on the CA glue. I think, sometimes I open one of these up and I'm like, they probably could have used a little bit more silicone and really secured this parts. I think this build house took that advice and went bananas with it, because there's CA glue very sloppily all over the inside here. It's not going to harm anything, but it just doesn't look very attractive. Your caps here, they are 4700 microfarad caps, 80 volts. These are the two main caps right here. They are 105 degrees, so that's good. A couple of filtering caps along this side. I mean, everything is, it's seated down well. I mean, it better be with all that freaking glue in there. It's a pretty common board, I imagine. You can see right there, I don't know if you probably can't see it, but right along the top of the transformer here, we find the model number 1000.1. So I'm sure there's probably a sister amp to this out there somewhere with another brand, but that's okay. That's kind of the world we live in with these amplifiers now. Okay, nothing left to do here but to strap up the Synergy Audio EFA 1K up to our trusty amp dyno and find out just how much power this little amp produces. Is it underrated? Is it overrated? I have no idea. That's why we do these tests. So let's strap her up and I'll see you after the test. Okay, final thoughts here on the Synergy Audio EFA 1K amplifier. You saw the numbers, so let's just start with, yes, it is a budget gem. We got just a tad under 1,000 watts certified at 1 ohm. I think that's because that was one of the very final tests I did, and the amplifier got a little warm. So I ran another test after it cooled off, and you can see this picture here. I did get over 1,000 watts certified at about 14.32. Got well over 1,100 watts at 14.3 uncertified, and 1,200 watts plus dynamically at 1 ohm. And of course it beat or exceeded all its ratings at all the ohm loads. So for $169, it's really not a bad value at all. It's certainly compact. I mean, again, this is my hand size in comparison. Are there things that they could have done better? Yes. I think the fit and finish of the amp could be improved. I think the bass knob is terrible, and I think the manual is just laughable. So it's not all sunshine and roses with this amplifier, but if you are looking for a 1,000 watt amplifier and you don't really want to spend more than $175, this could be your amp. Again, even when I say it got warm, it didn't really get warm. It wasn't like overly warm to the touch. The heatsink was doing its job. Like I said, just kind of wanted to make sure it was at its optimal performance to get that 1,000 watts. So, pretty nice job, Synergy. I hear that they might have a new version of this in the works at some point, which would probably improve upon all the things that I know they themselves are not even satisfied with the amp, which is good. Continuous improvement. So, again, budget gem. Nice job there to Synergy. Thank you to the person at home who sent this in to me for me to try out. Really appreciate it. Nice job. All right, well, that's it for me, folks. I got a ton of more amps to test. I will see you next time.